Welcome to this week in the world of wrestling.
Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. This is our Monday Night Raw review. And this Raw was an okay show. The best way that I would describe it, so I can hand it off to my cohort and commentary here, is that I found the first 2 hours to be pretty average, but I found the third hour to be quite strong, with a lot of enjoyable content, including one brilliant segment revolving around the main event angle for Night of Champions, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So yeah, overall, a pretty average Raw with a strong third hour. Ashton, what do you think of it?
To me, this Raw was the definition of polarizing. This Raw had, in my opinion, the best segment that we've had on a Raw since Bray Wyatt's Children's Choir, and the most infuriating segment that we've had on Raw since Stephanie McMahon accused Daniel Bryan of cheating.
Right. So you had, everything from, every side on this show. And, yeah, I mean, it's one of those Raws where, you either just really, I guess, just thought it was okay, really hated it, really loved it. Like you said, I think the word summed it up perfectly, polarizing. So with that said, let us get in our first segment, Heat of the Night. I don't have any Heats of the Night tonight. Although after a discussion that you and I had, I'll probably be co-signing on to yours potentially. So, Ashton, why don't you share with everybody what we talked about, because I thought it would be a very good conversation.
Okay, this is the infuriating thing that I was referring to when we opened up.
Right.
Now, I want to be perfectly clear here, because there are certain interpretations that you might have of why this is a Heat of the Night, and I want to clear that up. Rollins versus Reigns is my Heat of the Night. And the reason that it's my Heat of the Night isn't necessarily just because Reigns won clean. The fact that Reigns won clean is definitely a part of it, but that's a part of it because that does nothing for any of the three Shield members. That makes Ambrose look weak because he took so long and he still couldn't beat Rollins. It makes Rollins look weak because he got squashed by, well, he didn't literally get squashed, but he got beaten by Reigns clean. And it made Reigns look weak because now all of a sudden Reigns is getting out-popped by Sheamus on Raw because people have stopped caring about him because he's been pushed too hard down people's throats, and they're getting sick of it.
It's happening already, guys, and I feared this. And I'm a fan of Roman Reigns. I think he has a lot of fun offense, especially when he hits his second gear, the comeback. I think he has one of the best comebacks currently in WWE. I just really get into it. But he's looking unstoppable. And it really is a shame that he gets the win clean the first time out. Even if he got the win over a DQ finish, I guess I could have forgiven that. But we all know the story is that Dean Ambrose has been struggling to exact a pound of flesh from Seth Rollins for revenge from his betrayal. And now Roman Reigns just comes in and the first time out does a job that Dean Ambrose has had quite a few months to complete, and he's been unsuccessful. In fact, so unsuccessful that quite the opposite result happened, and he got taken out, which led to a very brilliant comment, I think, from my friend Anthony. We were talking about it, and he said Ambrose either needs to screw Rollins out of his title win or win the briefcase from Rollins. And I think he's absolutely right, because I take it that now that Roman Reigns has pinned Seth Rollins cleanly and beaten him in a match, the stakes have been raised, and now Ambrose, if he wants to have his own unique form of revenge against Seth Rollins, is out looking like Roman Reigns is second, or his lesser cohort, he needs to go bigger, and that would be screwing Rollins out of the briefcase or, again, the championship, as Anthony stated. Because now it's just looking like Roman Reigns is the dominant alpha of everything, and it makes Ambrose look like a chump, even though it was Ambrose who was really into the pursuit. In fact, the initial promo, Ambrose is all about Rollins, and here Roman Reigns is like, oh, well, Seth, you're only part of the problem. His main focus at the time was Randy Orton. So what does that tell you?
Yeah. And I want to be clear, because, again, that wasn't the only reason this is the Heat of the Night. If that was the only reason I was angry, I probably would have just made this a nitpick. But this is a full-on Heat of the Night for me because of that and this next thing. How long, John, did Ambrose have to fight just to get a match with Seth Rollins?
Oh yeah, I mean he had to chase him along the ends of the earth. Combine that with going against the political power of the authority, and it took Ambrose forever to get Rollins in a corner. It wasn't even until he won like the Beat the Clock challenge that he got Rollins in a matchup that he really felt like favored him. So it was really quite a climb.
And even then, Kane screwed him.
Exactly, it's been such a climb for Ambrose, and much more so compared to Roman Reigns, that's for sure.
Yeah, and now freaking Roman Reigns just says, I don't want to wait till Sunday. And boom, he gets handed a freaking match with Rollins tonight, despite the fact that he literally already got handed a match with Rollins at Night of Champions for pretty much no reason.
And see, this is really the head scratcher, and the only part, like, if I did have any, like, nitpicks, this would have been it. They go out, and they actually have a legitimate match. Like, I was thinking, because I knew about their match at Night of Champions, this is some kind of elaborate ruse. Like, Roman Reigns will come out, Seth may come out, Seth may look ready to compete, but then Kane's music would hit, or just something would happen, and it would be another...
why in the world... Why are they even bothering to have this at Night of Champions now? We've seen it already. What are you going to do? Are you going to give it 5 more minutes? Who cares? This match was like a full actual match. This wasn't even like they weren't even half-assing it. It's not like they had to rush all of their signature offense and then get to a pin. It's not like they made this match quick. This was a solid 15-minute match that could have been in the middle of a pay-per-view card.
Absolutely. And you know what? Even though that they had a full match, and I completely agree with you, what's the point doing the match again? I could have at least forgiven it if Rollins had gotten the win for the reasons I've already stated. One, it would have been a great obstacle for Roman Reigns, even if only temporary.
With that being said, I do want to add a condition to this, because if they had this match on Raw so that they could allow Reigns to maintain his credibility because Rollins is going to win on Sunday, I can forgive it.
I could forgive it too. It's still a bit of a head scratcher though, again, having the heel, I guess, chase the babyface to even things up. But, then again, this isn't just any babyface. It's Roman Reigns. And, he is the guy right now. He is the pet project right now. So let's hope that everything goes well. It just really was like a confusing thing. Even though I will say, as far as the match itself, I enjoyed the match. I think these guys have great chemistry. It's just a shame that it had to be surrounded by all of these circumstances, when I think it would have just been so much better just to wait for Sunday and do like another kind of assault, or even like a verbal exchange or something like that to promote the matchup.
Yeah, it was really frustrating to watch these guys go out there and put on a pay-per-view quality match, and then for Reigns to win clean, and then we have to watch this again on Sunday. Like, why should I care?
You know what? I'm thinking how this is all going to shake out. We're probably, Reigns got the win here on Raw. Rollins will probably win at Night of Champions, and then watch them have like a third match or something the next night on that Raw. And Roman Reigns either wins that, or maybe it's like indecisive, and then we just really continue the Ambrose Rollins program, which that can also redeem itself, not just by what Anthony said with either taking the briefcase or screwing Rollins out of his championship win, but I'm still echoing what you've been saying, what we've both been saying. I want those two to have a Hell in a Cell match, because at least that would get them back on track of having their own unique identity in this feud, and then it would really make Dean Ambrose winning, because I do think he'd win there, seem all the more special, because it would be a Hell in a Cell that actually mattered. So there's still a lot they can do with Ambrose and Rollins. It's just a shame that they had to give Roman Reigns the win here for whatever reason.
Yeah, exactly. I am looking forward to Ambrose returning, but the fact that Reigns already holds a clean victory over Rollins actually makes me care less about Ambrose coming back, because it's like this dragon slayer is slaying dragons, and the dragon gets the better of him but doesn't kill him, and then some other guy comes in and kills the dragon in 10 seconds. It's like, why would I care about the first guy when the second guy does it so effortlessly.
And I think this is what you feared, Ashton, when you talked about Roman Reigns' babyface rise. That seems to be like more forced, whereas Dean Ambrose's babyface rise is more organic, more authentic.
Yeah.
And you were worried that like Roman Reigns would kind of trounce all over Dean Ambrose's rise. And I was a bit more hopeful, but I really stressed, again, just thinking that it was going to be a Night of Champions, now we have the events here, that Roman Reigns could not beat Seth Rollins. That should have been an honor reserved for Dean Ambrose because he's doing the chasing, they're doing the promos, they're doing all the segments, all of this, and then for Roman Reigns to swoop in and get the win, even if they want to make it seem really heroish and babyface-ish by saying, oh, I did it for Dean Ambrose. Well, Dean Ambrose can take care of himself. And he was this close to again, getting that pound of flesh that the only two recourses now that I can see for them to salvage the Dean Ambrose Seth Rollins program is one, again, I really want to see these guys have a Hell in a Cell because it seems like such an appropriate blow-off. And two, as Anthony said, he's either got to take the briefcase from Rollins now and really hit him where it hurts, like he's been wanting to do from the beginning, or at the very least, Rollins cashes in. Maybe the match goes on for a little bit longer than what typical cash-ins go on for. There's some kind of ref bump or something. Dean comes in, hits Rollins. Rollins gets pinned. He loses out on his championship opportunity. Just something, because now Roman Reigns has taken everything from Dean Ambrose, and I don't, as a babyface, of course, he doesn't even know it, but it almost seems like a heelish tactic from Reigns, because it's like, yeah, that revenge you wanted, yeah, I took it from you. So, really sucks.
Another option that is kind of weighing in my head right now that I wasn't even thinking about before, what if Ambrose turns on Reigns for this?
And see, dude, I'm going to be honest with you. If they do that, I am going to be so pissed. And it's ironic, right? Because all the conversations we've had about Ambrose, what did I always tell you up until, like, the Shield split? Oh, Dean, top heel material. Dean, top heel material. And I still believe that. But this face run has been going so much better than I anticipated. Maybe not anybody else.
Yeah, John, this might have been going better than any of us anticipated, but the WWE didn't intend for it to, so they're going to try and stop it because it's not something that they designed.
But, see, it's just like Ryback all over again.
And Daniel Bryan, they tried. Dude, do not forget, Wyatt family. That was supposed to last through WrestleMania, but then freaking Triple H talked some sense into Vince on the plane home from Las Vegas, and next thing you know, they took him out of it and put him into the WrestleMania main event. It took so much for Vince to cave on Daniel Bryan. Ambrose isn't even anywhere close to as over as Daniel Bryan was at that point.
I know. I just don't understand. Like, I'm sorry, I keep thinking back to the Triple H CM Punk confrontation where Triple H is all like, oh, you want to succeed in this business? All you have to do is get over with them. And I'm not angry at Triple H. I'm sure he's not part of the problem. In fact, with NXT and everything else, I genuinely believe he's part of the solution. But he had to know when he said that back then that was a bunch of crap. Because Ambrose, and we've been saying it for a while now, Ashton, with him gone, not only does everybody feel his absence, but when he was present, there is no question in my mind that he was the top babyface in that company. Because everybody trounces Cena in the babyface department at this point. That's been the case for years because he's just so polarizing. And I feel like Ambrose really brought everybody together because he's even Reigns, we've noted. People are starting to turn on him. Sheamus is out popping him. And the idea that they may turn Ambrose heel, which I think is a very legitimate possibility, to turn him against Roman Reigns for whatever reason that they'd conjure up, I just think he's really shooting this in the foot, and it's really a shame. Again, Ambrose
because Reigns is a glory hog, because Ambrose is ticked off with Reigns, because Reigns decided to finish the job that Ambrose started.
Right, and there you go. There's your story. And again, Ambrose is the kind of worker that he will make anything shine with brilliance. So I have confidence in him if he were to turn. It's just a shame that it would actually be a contemplation because I just think this babyface run has been going so well. And I just have this image, Ashton, of those two locked in Hell in a Cell. And I know because of this whole era, it's been a while since we've seen blood in one of those matches. But again, it's my imagination, so it's whatever. And Ambrose has got this crimson mask, and he's standing on top of the cell of vanquished Rollins just celebrating with the sea of people in the venue, and it's just amazing. I could see him getting a huge pop from beating Rollins in that structure. But will we even get there? I mean, Hell in a Cell has been purely speculative. You and I just say that it makes sense because of how personal the feud is. Now, I think you also raised another legitimate question. Is Ambrose even going to be a babyface? I mean, one would assume so. But knowing WWE, they may be looking at this and they may be saying, you know what? Ambrose has got a lot of momentum. Roman Reigns is our pet project. We need people to be receptive of him. Let's turn Ambrose. And there you go.
Because the best thing to do for Roman Reigns' babyface run is to make him the one responsible for Dean Ambrose's babyface run coming to an end. Great logic, WWE.
You know, it almost makes me think that you really may have been onto something when you said that maybe it should have been Roman Reigns to do the turn all those months ago and maybe hit either Dean Ambrose or Seth Rollins in the back with that chair. Because he could have gone from the heel and he could have had almost like a Batista-esque kind of turn back where he just lays everybody out and becomes his own man again for good. No allegiances to anybody, just Roman Reigns. But here we are. It's not working out atrociously, but I think it could be better in some fronts, you know, given the events of this past Raw. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see how everything shakes out.